Hello and welcome back once again to the podcast Talking to the Max. We have actually received a couple of complaints, Max.
What?
Yeah, we've got some complaints. Says this one's from Tanis Jingle, and it says,
Tanis?
yeah, Tanis Jingle,
Who is this Tanis Jingle?
and it says, can you please stop swearing, Max?
What?
So I know I'm just used to what comes out your mouth by now, but obviously some of the viewers at home are not. So can you please this time try and keep it a bit more PG?
What did I say?
I don't know. It just said use some very colourful language, and that she's appalled.
Colourful.
I'm assuming it's a she. Tanis, if you're listening, we're sorry about that one.
I've never heard that name. That's a weird name, Tanis.
Yeah.
Bit dodgy.
But yeah.
I do know one's called it. Never mind.
Yeah, we got that complaint. We also had a couple of complaints from people who weren't mentioned in the podcast. So before we get into it, I'm going to do a shout out. We've got a couple of shout outs that people wanted. Here's a shout out to Zach. I know you're listening. I know that you wanted a shout out.
Zach who?
Zach. Zach the dog.
Oh.
There you go. Shout out to Zach. A couple more shout outs here. Nah, they're not important. Right, we'll just move on. Get on to the topic of today. And Max, what's the topic of today again?
It is games.
Games. Nice one. Games, a topic we know a lot about. And first,
video games, console games, handheld games, even board games.
Yeah. And first, hopefully you won't be too bored by podcasts. But first, to kind of get you, into the mood for games, I've got a 10-question quiz for you, Max. So this will obviously show the viewers or the listeners your knowledge on gaming. So no pressure, but if you want obviously to be held in high regard and you want to show what an expert you are, you need to do well.
I don't know these questions, by the way. Is it multiple choice?
Yeah, I'll give you the option for the multiple choice. I'll ask you the question, and if you want multiple choices, then I'll give you some multiple choices. Yeah, I have got multiple choices. So, are you ready, Max?
Yes, I am ready.
Okay. Start with one of the easier questions. There are some easy, some not so easy. So, we have got the question. Here we go. In what year did Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga come out? Would you like some options, or do you know it?
I'm not gonna give myself options. So this is the complete saga, not the first one.
No.
I'm gonna guess it was out on like the PS3 and like the Wii and stuff. So I'm gonna guess 2007.
Yeah, you got it.
Is it actually?
Yeah. Oh my, you got it. 2007. That one came out. So that's a good start there. Right. Next one, Max. Question 2. What is the biggest selling video game of all time? Right, I'll give you some options for this one. Is it FIFA, Roblox, The Sims, or Minecraft?
Oh, come on, that's easy. It's Minecraft, sure.
It is Minecraft. So you're still on 100% so far. You've got 2. Here we go. Next question. Question number 3. What was the first commercially successful video game? Was it Pong, Donkey Kong Country, or Super Mario Bros?
Pong, isn't it?
You're going to go for Pong?
Yeah, I'm going to go for Pong.
It is Pong. So you've got 3 out of 3 so far. Here we go. Next one. You should get this one. And obviously viewers at home can play along with this. They can take their guesses. What is the fictional language in The Sims?
Is it Simlish? Simish. I'm going to guess Simlish.
It is Simlish. You've got 4 out of 4 so far. I do stress, I've not asked Max these questions beforehand. This is off the cuff knowledge from
We wouldn't do that, that would be boring.
Yeah, it would. So, number 5, Max. Be interesting to see whether you know this one. In what year was the NES released? Now, would you like multiple choice for this?
Yeah, give me multiple choice.
So, firstly, Max, can you tell us what the NES actually stands for?
The
At home.
the Nintendo Entertainment System, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah, so it's either 1973, 1978, 1983, or 1985.
I'm torn between 83 and 85 because I think it came out with the first Super Mario Brothers. So I'm gonna guess 85.
Oh, no, it's 83.
Is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
so your record has gone now. That's 5 questions in. It's
oh
not a bad start,
man,
though. Halfway
it
through,
isn't
you've
a
got
bad
4
start.
out of 5. Let's see if we can keep it going. So, we're sticking on a question with the NES in it. So, which console came out first? Was it the NES? Was it the Sega Master System? Or was it the Atari 7800? I'm not 100% sure. Was it 7800?
I don't know. It's an Atari. That's what counts. I'm sorry, old people. I think it's the Atari, wasn't it? Because it had like one stick.
Is that what you're going for? The Atari?
Yeah.
No, it's the NES on that one. There
What?
were
Wait,
versions.
is that a newer version of the Atari then?
Yeah, there were previous versions of the
Oh,
Atari.
come on.
So, bit of a trick there.
I
Right.
remember we once went to like games museum or it was like a media museum and I thought this told us all this stuff.
Yeah. So, number 7. Some of these might have to start to be guesses. Right. The creator of Pac-Man based the shape of Pac-Man on what? Was
Oh, I know this.
do you not want any multiple choice?
No, I know this. I know this one. I'm sure. Pizza.
It is a pizza, yeah.
I
That's
read
right.
it like that same day when we went to that media museum place.
Yeah,
That there was like a book about like the little book of video games or something like that, and it
yeah.
actually had that fact in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Right. So we've got 3 questions left. You've out of 7, you've got 5, which is again is not a bad score. These ones are quite hard. Firstly, this one is a term. Right, see if you know this term. I think Morgan would get this one, so no pressure. What is a frag? Now, do you need multiple choice, or do you think you know it?
I think multiple choice, yeah. Because
Right.
I would think what's the most
Yeah.
Morgan like.
Is it a cheat code? Is it the number of things you have killed in a game? Or is it a French bag?
I think it'll be the number of kills you've got because like Morgan like boasts about how he's like fragged out on games. He's like, oh yeah, killed loads
Yeah.
of people. That makes the most sense in my head. You don't want to boast about cheating.
No, that's correct. So you've now got 6 out of 8. You've got 2 remaining.
Way.
Now these last 2 are difficult unless you know them. And it wouldn't
It's like
surprise
you've
me if
got to
you knew
know
them.
him
Right.
or you don't.
So unless you know them, I will give you options. So what inspired games maker Satoshi Tajiri to create Pokemon? Now, do you need a multiple choice?
Yeah, I need a multiple
Right.
choice for this one.
Was it a dream? Was it his mum? Was it an old TV show? Or was it butterflies?
Butterflies, what?
So what inspired the maker of Pokemon to make Pokemon?
I think I'm gonna guess dream. It seems like the kind of weird thing you'd dream.
I guessed dream and I got it wrong. It's actually butterflies. I don't know how you get Pokemon from butterflies, but there you go.
Because
So
there's that butterfly Pokemon that's called like Butterfree or something.
so you've got 6 out of 9, haven't you? On to the last question.
Yeah.
Decent score at this last one. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if you knew this, but if you don't, it's gonna be tough. What was Sonic the Hedgehog's original name? Now, do you need multiple choice or do you know it?
Yeah, I barely know anything about
Okay.
Sonic the Hedgehog,
Sonic,
to be
right.
honest.
Was it Fast Blue Hedgehog?
That's a bit too obvious.
Was it Colin the Hedgehog? Was it Mr. Needlemouse? Or was it Stephen?
I'm gonna guess Mr. Needlemouse because it's a little too specific to be
It
wrong.
is Mr. Needlemouse. So you've got 7 out of
Way.
10, which is a pretty good score, I think, out of all those.
What did I get out of 10?
7. So obviously,
Oh,
people playing at
7.
home.
I
I
mean,
wonder how well they did on that one.
that's
Yeah.
above average. I think if you get a 7, I think if you get above like 5, then you're above average.
Yeah,
So
that was pretty good. That right. So on to games, Max. So I was thinking the chronological way to start is probably our earliest games from when we were very little. So
and games systems, games consoles.
yeah. So can you remember the first game console that you played on or that you had? Obviously you played a lot of mine and Morgan's consoles.
Well, there's a difference between the first one we had and the first one I personally
Yeah.
played on. I think the first one that we had, that I remember, was the PS2.
PlayStation 2, yeah.
And we played like, there was this game called Buzz. It was like different, like, it was like a party game, and you like,
Oh yeah, you had the I'll put a
you had
picture
like
of
this
it.
button. There was also like a
Yeah.
game show Buzz
There
where
were
you had
different
to
like
like,
colours, weren't there? They're like blue, yellow, green, and
oh, the
I can't remember
nostalgia.
the other one.
This is gonna be a very
Might have been
nostalgic
like
episode.
orange, and then you had the red buzzer. And like we had lots of different versions of it, didn't we? We had like the monkey version, Monkey Buzz. We had the robot
Oh, of
version.
course, those different
Yeah.
versions.
We had the monster version. That monster one was good. And the robot one, which was like the classic one. Can you remember the robot one?
Yeah, I remember. Of
Remember
course,
the game where you were
I think the
eating
monster one, that was the classic.
Oh, the monster one was good because you could like customize your monster. Do you
Oh,
remember the one where you were like eating beans and you had to like fart for as long as possible without like the dinner lady noticing?
I remember there was one where you were like mixing liquids or something. I was really
Oh
good at
yeah,
that
the monster
one.
one. Oh, there was that mummy one as well where you had to like mummify your monster or unmummify it.
I remember I was rubbish at that one. We also had it on the
Oh,
PS3. The PS2
yeah.
version was better though.
There was obviously the monkey one
Oh.
where you were monkeys. There was a dinosaur one as well. Do you remember that one?
Oh, the dinosaur one. It was like you had to get them out of the eggs and stuff.
Yeah, there's that robot one where you had to do like racing as well, where you had to just press your buzzer as much as you
I
could.
think
Oh,
we'll
some
put
very
a
good ones.
picture of each one on the screen as we're
Yeah,
saying this.
more work for me to do, but yeah, no, I will. Cause
Oh,
oh, that'd
sorry.
be no, I'm joking. That'd be yeah, that'd be. I'd like to play that again, but I don't know if we could, if we actually could. I'm sure there'll be a way. But
They're all.
yeah,
I think we downloaded did them digitally on the PS3.
yeah, they were very
It's
good. Which
not
one was your
as
favourite? Was it the monster one?
or the robot one. Those two.
Do you remember like the guy who like the voiceover guy for the monster one?
Oh yeah, that was also the lady, and she always sounded condescending.
Yeah.
She was like, "Oh, keep up, Max," and it was like, "Wait, no, it was like player 3, keep up player 3 or monster
Buzz
3 or
Monster
whatever."
Rumble Music. That was a very good game. There was that dancing one as well, musical chairs one. I remember me and Morgan used to play a lot of Crash Bandicoot.
Oh
Which was
yeah,
like
Crash Bandicoot. Didn't Morgan
platform
accidentally
game.
like delete the file or something?
I can't remember, but I have got a funny story. Maybe tell later on about Morgan deleting something of mine, and I remember being very upset about it. But we'll talk about that when we talk about that specific game.
Oh, I've got a funny story which we'll tell later on as well. In fact, I've got a couple of funny stories that we'll tell later
Nice
on.
one.
Okay.
So
Also the Monsters Inc. game.
I
That
had a
was a.
Monster Inc. game that was really good. Did
I
you ever play
think
the
that
Tarzan one?
I don't remember the Tarzan one. I remember the SpongeBob SquarePants one.
That's SpongeBob game.
Yeah, we had like a SpongeBob game, and I remember playing it once and getting scared because there was like I think there was the Flying Dutchman or something.
Oh. Do you remember we had a Rugrats game? I don't know if you ever played it, like hide and seek that me and Morgan had. Do you remember the Bob the Builder game?
No, remember the Home
Oh, yeah.
Alone game where?
Yeah, you had to set up traps.
Yeah.
That were good. There was the Bob the Builder one. That was such a good game as well. At 19 years old, I'd play the Bob the Builder game. It was so good. Oh,
What?
remember?
This must be a very good game.
Oh, it was very good. Morgan, if you'd listen to this, will know what I'm on about. There was also, can you remember on the, because we had Game Boys for a while, didn't we? Back when Game Boys were quite big. Can you remember, did you ever play the Scooby-Doo game on the Game Boy?
Oh, that
That
was
was good,
like the
wasn't it?
2D one,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I think it threw you in like a mansion. You started off as
yeah.
Scooby Doo, and you had to like find each of the others.
Can you remember the other Scooby-Doo game we had? I like the PlayStation, where it was like a
The
samurai or
oh,
something.
the PlayStation, yeah.
Yeah.
The 3D one, and
Yeah, like
oh
samurai, and you had to. I think I couldn't get past like the second level. There were these samurai guys who just got me every time. It was so frustrating.
yeah, because the first level was Scooby, and that was very easy, and then the second one was Shaggy with the samurai guys.
Yeah. Oh, they don't make
Oh
games like that
man.
anymore. They were so good. Like Monster Inc. game, that was so. I'd literally play that now. Um,
Also,
yeah,
my first console I played on was this silver DS that I had,
yeah.
and I had Super Mario Bros. On it. But funny story, I remember we were at Nanny's, and Nanny took it off me, and then she said, "Give it me here," and she accidentally snapped it.
What Snapchat DS?
Yes, she accidentally
Really?
snapped the top off the bottom. Morgan will be able to tell you this. And I remember going to the meeting showing Mum, like, them it had fallen apart. That was the most depressing thing when I was younger. There was
You
also,
you
I
went
think,
through DSs. I'm sure you used to like. Something always used to happen to your DSs, and you had quite a few.
more it was something happened to one of Morgan's DS's where the screen went off on it. And
Yeah.
also, the first game I played and completed was Pokemon White, I think. Honestly, that game was quality to
So,
this day.
do you want to talk a bit about DS games then for a bit? So, because obviously, I think everyone will know what a Nintendo DS is, little handheld device. What was like your favourite DS game? Was it Pokemon? Was it like a Pokemon game, or was it something else?
I think it would have to be a Pokemon game. Um, that's
Pokemon was
my most hours I've spent on a DS game. It was Pokemon White 2, and it was in the 300, 400 hours mark.
wow, that's a lot. um, but can you remember as well other DS games? So like there was
I
Nintendo.
was like 5 at the time. Nintendogs, oh yes. I used to go through each of my dogs. I used to have like 10 and just drop each one off at the daycare, and I'd have like 2 at a time, and I was like making my way through them.
Yeah.
Just so,
Uh,
just so, so that when each one was too tired for a walk, I could just like take them to the daycare and get the one that wasn't
ready
tired
for a
for a
walk.
walk, and then just take them on a walk, just like make my way through each one.
I've got a funny story about Nintendo. I remember the first ever dog I had was, I think it was like I think it was a golden retriever,
Oh,
and
I remember this story.
I called it Joey, and it was like it felt like it was a real life dog to me. I loved that dog. It was quality. I trained it up to be really good. I took it on walks every day. I looked after it. I fed it. I stroked it. Did everything with it. It was a very good dog. Then one
You get
night,
very invested in these dogs when you're like 5 and you're playing
you
this.
do, you do. And then one night, Morgan, I talked to Morgan about it. We were both playing on Nintendogs, and he went, "Oh, have you ever took your dog to the Delette?" And I was like, "What, the Delette?" And he went, "Yeah, can you see that button? It says, there was like a button. It said like delete dog. Well, it said delete dog or something like that. Basically, it deleted your dog." And he went, "Yeah, if you take your dog to the Delette, it makes them very good. It makes them very good at tricks and win up competitions and that." So I'm like, "Oh, really? This is very good. How did I not know about this?" And then Morgan went, yeah. So you just go with delete dog or whatever it said. I can't 100% remember what it says. But basically, Morgan had convinced me to delete my dog, my favourite dog, Joey. And that's what happened. I deleted my dog. And then when I discovered I couldn't get him back, I was like, "What? Where's my dog gone? I can't get him back." and I remember being absolutely gutted. I cried my eyes out.
Also, another
Um,
funny story involving you and Nintendogs, right? You were trying to like name it because basically you have to say their name into the camera until the dog responds.
yeah.
And I remember it took you ages, and then during the night, Mum had to go and do it, and then keep on like talking into the mic,
You have to
going,
keep
"Joe."
to name a dog. You have to keep like pressing it and going like. Where my cat died. You have to keep going, Jerry, Jerry, and then eventually it'll respond. And I remember I got a new dog because obviously I took mine to the delete. Couldn't get it back because the delete obviously had deleted my dog. For those of you who don't understand, delete is just the word delete, but Morgan convinced me it was something else. I think it was delete. It would have delete or erase or something like that. Basically, the dog had gone. And I got another dog, and it was rubbish. It weren't responding to the name. I couldn't name it. I mean, to be honest, I'm probably not the best person to be trying to name a dog. I mean, pretty obvious why. So when I'm trying to call a dog Stephen, obviously the DS isn't going to pick up Stephen.
Did you ever call your dog Mississippi, Jude?
I mean, there's just no need to that, is there, Max? But anyway, yeah, and then my mum, obviously, she spent all night trying to name my dog for me because I was distraught. And eventually, yeah, I moved. I still mourn for Jerry every night. I'm still very upset at his loss. I can't believe Morgan would betray me like that and make me delete my dog. But
Did you ever
yeah,
play the one for the 3DS, Nintendogs and Cats?
I don't think I did know because I'm not a massive cat person, to be honest. But
Oh, well, the cats did nothing. You weren't missing out on anything. The cats just sat there. It was rubbish. Anyway, I'm sorry if you used to play that game and enjoyed the cats. I am sorry. I remember I called it Precious or something.
we're going to get more complaints now, Max, because everyone who loves cats are going to
Oh no,
complain.
that's the
Just put it
least
out
of
there.
what you want.
These are the views of Max Hall. These are not the views of the podcast or of anyone else involved.
Say your complaints until the Star Wars episode. That's when things are going to get controversial.
Yeah,
Right.
Max can't wait to get his teeth stuck into that one. So that'll be coming in a couple of weeks, I'm sure.
We also had a Wii. There
Yeah,
was some good Wii
Nintendo
games.
Wii, some really good Wii games. You've got a classic Wii game where obviously you play, it's Wii Sports, wasn't it? Play tennis,
Yeah,
you've got the
everyone had
boxing, you've got
that.
the baseball, you've got.
I think that
Remember,
must have been one of the highest selling games.
you've got the Wii remote, obviously. You've got the thing that comes around your wrist. Yeah.
Have you seen them videos of the people accidentally chucking the Wii remote?
Well, Max, do you not remember when we were playing bowling? And Dad, I think Mum kept going, you need to put it on your wrist, you need to put it on your wrist. And my dad was going, nah, it's uncomfy, I'm not going to put it on my wrist, I'm not going to drop it. And he went to bowl the bowling ball and he chucked it. And thankfully, it didn't hit the telly. I think it hit like the ornaments or something, chucked it and it hit the ornaments. And obviously, I think Dad got in a bit of trouble about that one. But yeah, that's obviously a really good game. There was Wii Fit as well. Didn't really go in it that much because we're not really a very fit family. But I remember being distraught again when you've got like the scales thing that links to your Wii.
No.
And obviously you've got your Mii character that looks like you. They're all quite skinny. I stood on it, and then all of a sudden my Wii character got really fat, really bulbous, turned into like a blob, and it just said that I was obese, basically. And I was absolutely humongous, and that I was, apparently really fat and unhealthy. And yeah, I just weren't very happy with that game.
Wii Fit's not a nice game. Super Mario Galaxy, I think that's my favourite game that we had for the Wii. Super Mario Galaxy.
Can you remember? Well, I can remember. We play it all the time. Mario Kart as well, obviously a big one in the family.
You can still.
Can you remember when?
That's one of the only ones where you could play it now and enjoy it.
Can you remember who won the Mario Kart tournament when we did the Mario Kart tournament that time in our family?
Right. Basically, there's this setting in Mario Kart.
Who won the tournament? Who was the best Mario Kart player in the family?
Right. Before we determined this, Jude had these settings on that made the game almost automatic. So it just did everything for you anyway. So I don't think that counted.
Why?
Who were you playing against again, Jude?
Well, we all played each other. We did like a league table, and I won fair and square.
With automatic controls.
Are
So
you
I
saying
don't
that I
think.
cheated? Was
Yes, you
quite a
did
strong
cheat.
allegation.
You
Well,
you did cheat.
when I come back this next week, we can have another Mario tournament, and I'll beat you all again. So
Right. We'll tell you the results next week, and I'm sure I will have won.
yeah. Well, I don't think you finished second. I think Morgan finished second.
Oh, Morgan's a sweat though. Let's be honest. Uh, what's another good on the PS3? Oh, we have a good story about the PS3. It wasn't on our PS3, but it was on our uncle and auntie's PS3. So basically, mum and dad weren't there, but we went to our uncle and auntie's for a sleepover, I think, or was it just round for a day, something like
I'm not
that.
sure.
And we were picking games, and I don't think they were looking, but we picked a particularly violent game called, I think, Grand Theft Auto,
Yeah.
and we played that. Too young to be playing that game, but yeah, we heard a naughty phrase. Are you gonna tell the rest of the story, Jude?
Yeah. So basically, we come back from our uncle Dave and Auntie Emma's, and been playing Grand Theft Auto, and basically there's a phrase, and I kind of got the word. I got the phrase wrong, thankfully, because I didn't say the key word. Basically, I turned to mum and dad. I said, "Kiss my house." So, not sure if you can work out what word is wrong, what word is replaced with something else. But I told my mum and dad to kiss my house. And yeah, they were a bit like confused as to what was going on. Then they found out we've been playing on that, and that's where I got it from. So,
And we
yeah.
haven't been
Obviously,
allowed.
this was quite a while ago. This was not last year. This was like when we were very little. I didn't.
Yeah, I was too young to even play it. I don't think I'd played a game at that point. I was like 3. Oh, that doesn't rest our cases very better. I wasn't playing it though. I was egging you both on.
Yeah,
to
blame Beth. I'm sure she had something to do with it.
It was Beth's idea. It was Beth's idea. Another game that we've had many fond memories on, me and Morgan more than you, Jude,
Yeah,
but Minecraft.
yeah, I didn't really play much of Minecraft.
But I do remember a particularly funny story involving you, Jude. And basically, there's this world in Minecraft called the Nether, and it was like this scary world where all the more powerful monsters were.
Yeah.
And if you place beds and try to sleep in it, they explode, blow you up, and you die. So basically, me, Jude, and Morgan in survival
Bear in mind,
Minecraft.
I said I was a really kind big brother. Morgan and Max had come to me like, "Oh, we're bored. Can you play Minecraft with us?" Bear in mind, I don't really play Minecraft. So I was like, you know what? Because I'm a nice, kind, big brother. Want to spend time with my little brothers. I'll do this for them. I'll play Minecraft with them. I didn't know much about the game, and they'd worked really hard to get to this point in the game where they were able to enter another world, which apparently is quite hard to do. I don't know.
It's called the
And
Nether.
continue, Max. What were you going to say?
And in bed, and when you get in bed, you die in the Nether. Well, it causes a massive explosion, and you're most likely gonna die. And basically, we were fighting some monsters in the Nether, and then suddenly there was a big explosion. Boom, kaboom.
And we lost
all
everything.
died.
We've been playing it for like a good hour or so.
I think
Morgan
it
and Max
all
have
fell
worked
into the
hard.
lava because there was like lava underneath like the surface we were stood on.
Yeah, and I remember Morgan and Max going, why have we just exploded? That's so confusing.
And then Morgan at first blamed me
Yeah,
for that
yeah.
particular crime.
I think we both blamed you. I think we were both like, Max, what have you just done? You've just killed
And
us.
then
We've
you
just spent
said,
ages on this game.
then you said, I quote Jude, funny that the explosion occurred just as I clicked on the bed. And then Morgan was like, you do realise, Jude, that beds explode in the Nether, don't you?
It was so funny because Morgan was accusing you of so many things, and then I was like, oh, it was quite funny because just as I put the bed down, it exploded, and then they were like,
You
are you
saved
sure?
me in that particular situation, though.
I remember that. I forgot about that. That was funny. That we've got another series of games, Max, which you know well. The Lego games. So obviously you've got
Oh
Lego
yeah,
Star
I
Wars,
knew
Lego
well.
Indiana Jones.
I don't play them anymore, obviously. I think the one that we combined played the most was it had to be Lego Star Wars.
Yeah, great game.
Basically, like recreated the scenes of the film, but like in a more comedic approach, and
Yeah.
it was so fun.
For the Indiana Jones one, don't know if you've watched Indiana Jones, but obviously in the first Indiana Jones, the first scene is he's got to get this like golden like head idol thing, hasn't he?
Oh yeah.
Out of this like cave. And on the Lego game version,
I told you this the other day
I
because
know.
we were rewatching the original Indiana Jones
on
trilogy, and
on the
then
Lego
we got to
version,
see, and I told you, and then you found it really funny.
yeah, on the Lego version, instead of a golden idol, it's C-3PO's head. What about Football Manager? You love Football Manager on your laptop, don't you?
Yeah.
You got Barnet into Premier League, didn't you?
Playing right now, yeah, totally cute.
I have actually got a couple of questions to finish on, Max, that people had sent in. The lovely listeners had sent a few questions in for you, yeah? So
Are you
I'm
going
not
to tell
bothered
me
about it.
who was asked these? Because I don't know who's seen this, to be honest.
So, I don't know if you've listened, but links quite nicely onto next week. Philippe has asked, what's Max's favourite food? So hold that thought, think about it now, and Philippe, if you're listening, or whoever else is listening, if you want to know Max's favourite food, then you can tune in next week, and Max will reveal his
Good
favourite
link.
food.
Is there any
So,
other questions?
We've got a question. It says, "What's the most embarrassing thing Jude has ever done?"
Who's that from?
Lou. Obviously, lives with me.
Jude.
Have you got anything that comes to mind? Anything embarrassing I've ever done around you, or things that I've embarrassed you with?
Being around.
Wow.
I'm joking.
It's
It's weird when you put on the spot. You don't know. It's like, what was the time? I'm sure there are some, but it just makes. Oh, I want to embarrass Jude by listing off some embarrassing memories.
Well, maybe one week we'll do an entire podcast all about embarrassing stories, because I've got quite a few. I'm sure some listeners might have heard a couple of them. I'm sure there'll be some that you've not heard. We've got one from Sam Frankish who says, "Who's your favourite brother?" And obviously we don't really need to answer that one because we know who that one is.
Morgan.
Anyway, that's
what am I?
we've got.
Will be revealed next week on the podcast. So tune in. No, I'm joking.
One last question. Yeah, I'm not going to include this person's name, but it just says, "Do you like slugs?"
That's a bit of an odd question.
Yeah, you don't need to answer that one. It's a bit weird, bit of a weirdo. So I don't. Why would I don't understand? But yeah, so that's all the questions for this week. Obviously, get your questions in, send them to me. Obviously, I'm free whenever. Just drop me a message and ask your questions for either myself or Max. So, is there anything? Yeah.
Maybe suggestions for topics that we could do.
Yeah. Well, we've got the embarrassing stories one, which is a good one. We've got a few ideas still, obviously, to go. We're not really dry as if yet. Only the second podcast, we've still got lots of ideas, thankfully. And yeah.
Don't worry, we're creative people.
So Max, have you got any final words or anything you want to say just as we end?
No, not really. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next week.